HPE just totally ripped after the earnings, and why? Well, they had an EPS beat of 14.63%. They missed on the top line by around 1%, but the stock ripped. It was up 6%, up 6% the day after. And EPS beat and EPS raise. So people are super excited. Their everything as a service GreenLake was up 23%. Orders were up 136%. And the reasons for the big change between that is all about supply chain. For one of the first times, HPE came out and talked about order growth, right? We saw Cisco come out with order growth that was very respectable, and HPE came out with a respectable number 2 of 20%. So essentially, they have a 20% backlog, a third consecutive quarter of having this. A couple other highlights: Intelligent Edge up 11%. Orders are up 35%. After a few quarters of some stagnation in overall compute, aka servers or servers as a service, up 20%. Storage, and by the way, those compute orders were impressive to me because their next biggest competitor has been a little bit stagnant on the server side. Storage orders were up 15% after a little bit of stagnation as well. And it seems overall, Daniel, like the enterprise market as a whole is moving here. We've seen this with Dell Tech. We've seen this with Lenovo. We've seen this with chip makers who supply the enterprise market. We always knew cloud was growing from what the cloud chip makers and the cloud providers were offering, but the enterprise is here, and it's good to see HPE continuing what I consider their leadership role in X as a service with GreenLake.
Absolutely. And you and I will be in Houston next week with Antonio, and we'll have a chance to dig a little bit deeper and maybe bring some comments back here to the 6.5 audience. Look, the order book and the as a service business are where eyes need to be right now. The top line growth will likely remain negligible in a plus minus capacity, but the company's pivot, this is actually, we're watching right out in front of the public's eyes what it looks like for revenue when you move from a CapEx to an OpEx model. The fact that they're hitting targets and growing triple digits in the OpEx or the consumption-based business is where the company needs to be. The order book growth is critical, and the continued diversification of the services. If you want to be an on-prem cloud, you're going to have to be able to compete with these cloud services that are being delivered at scale by the hyperscalers, which also are addressing on-prem cloud nowadays. So that's what I see. It's a company that's aligning to be both a partner to the hyperscalers and to the enterprises. That growth number, the growth of GreenLake, is everything as I see it. Watch that number. If that number is good, the future is likely going to be bright for HPE.